everybody, welcome. I'm Daniel G. Garza, and this is another episode of Put It Together Conversations. Welcome to the show. Reminding you that Put It Together Conversations is a show about you, about folks, where they come from, where they are now, and what their journey is like. The idea is to motivate and inspire you to go after your own dreams and your goals. And we hope that today's conversation inspires you to go after your dreams and goals. If you're watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, remember, you can be part of the conversation. Please join in, ask your questions, make your comments. I'll make sure that our guests get to see them. If you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and it'll let you know every time there's a new show on the air. Remember, we got 3 shows on the air. We've got the Christian and Daniel show, Put It Together Conversations, and the Card Table, which will come back pretty soon. Plus, if you've been following us during this last couple of weeks, you've been watching the Johnson & Johnson and Little Mexican Productions Inc. series on Hispanic Heritage Month. So make sure you go to our YouTube page and check those out. This week, my guest, let me give you a little, there it goes. His name is Phil, and he goes by the Fire King on social media. He's a performer, entertainer from North Carolina. He travels to the East Coast performing at different events, weddings, schools, music videos, and TV production companies, and for TV production companies. He typically does character things, fire breathing, fire spinning, among other things. He likes to think that he's the best in his field, given the unique look he has. He generally is performing, inspiring, and entertaining, and he's just plain outstanding, as many people can say. The bigger the crowd, the viewers, the more exhilarating it is for him and the audience. If you enjoy seeing what true hard work and precision looks like, just follow him and you will be thrilled, and he will accommodate you. And I've watched some of his videos. We're going to show some of those in just a minute, but let's bring him on the air. Hello, Fire King, Mr. Phillip. How are you doing, sir?
Heyo, how y'all doing?
Thank you for jumping in. You're driving, and we went in the pre-production meeting. We're like, I hope you're not driving and doing an interview.
Nope,
Because that's really
not driving.
That's
not
true
driving.
danger right there.
If I'm driving, I'm driving without looking and without touching the wheel. So it's either not dangerous or very dangerous, but definitely not driving. See, no steering wheel.
Now, the first time that I saw you or heard about you was America's Got Talent. That's where I originally saw your work.
Okay, you said the first time you found me was where?
On America's Got Talent, correct?
Yes, cool. So you actually saw me on America's Got Talent.
Yes. So the first time that we saw you, it was a video of that, and oops.
Wow, that's surprising.
Sorry, can you hear me? I lost my camera. Give me just 1 second. Just 1 second.
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Yes. My camera went off for a second. Give me 1 second. There we are. The first time that we saw you was on America's Got Talent. I was like,
wow.
There was a whole story about you, and that's really what attracted me. So we're going to hear that story in just a minute. But that's when I saw you, and I was like, I need to find out who this guy is, because I liked your backstory, and I'm like, I really love what he does. So that's when I started stalking you, basically. I'm not going to lie. I started stalking you. I'm like, how can I find this guy? And then for the people watching, we actually had a set date, and then we had to change it. And then we set another date, and then I had to go off on a business trip, and we had to change it. Here we are finally. So I'm excited for this.
I'm excited too.
So Fire Viking, tell us how you put it together.
Cool. Awesome. Well, my name is Phil. I find it quite interesting that you found me through America's Got Talent, because a very small handful of people have actually recognized me through America's Got Talent. Quick question: did you see it on television or on a YouTube of America's Got Talent?
No, we saw you on TV.
Oh wow! It very well may be that there's more footage on America's Got Talent that I've never seen, because the only thing I know of myself on America's Got Talent is a half a second split second
Yeah.
cut of me. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
very quick, but
Okay. Okay.
somewhere I think I saw that, and then I clicked over and I found you, and there was a whole backstory to you, and then I was
Wow.
like, okay, I'm intrigued now. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. I
You
didn't
sound
know that.
shocked.
Yeah, I'm shocked. But usually people recognize me through TikTok or from local events, but only 3 times has somebody recognized me from America's Got Talent. So that's super cool. Cool. So a little bit about me. I was born in Norway. I moved to the United States when I was 3 years old. Um, Grew up in Virginia. I moved to North Carolina, and that's where I started my entertainment career. Um, how I got into fire entertainment was this. So I met a guy from Costa Rica about 7 years ago, and he was huge into fire spinning back home in his home in Costa Rica. He moved here to North Carolina. He showed me the ropes. I loved it. I took off with it. I just grabbed it and I ran every weekend. I practiced, putting in sometimes between 2 to 10 hours of practice in one day. And it just took over. And, I could safely say that I have found my passion of just entertaining people, lifting people up, and just inspiring them through performing. So me and this guy from Costa Rica, we started our own company. It was called Komarevi Fire Arts. And, that had a really good run for a few years. And then it just seemed that me having a company with my fiance was just a much better option. And I'm so glad I went that direction with it. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, you're coming through. Good. Yes, no problem.
Okay, good. Cool. So me and my fiance, this is my fiance Brittany, and that's my
Hello,
daughter
Brittany.
Sophia.
Hey,
We're out
Sophia.
here shopping for pumpkins. We got a pumpkin for Halloween, so we're gonna carve that when we get home.
Guys.
Um, so me and Brittany, we started our own entertainment company. We like to think of ourselves as a small family-owned entertainment company where we do like kids parties, specific like not in its entirety, but here locally, that's kind of what we're known for. Doing kids parties where she'll dress up like a Disney princess, like Jasmine or Belle, and I'll get dressed up like the magic character, like Aladdin, or a prince, and it's just so fun. She'll be face painting, and I would do balloon twisting and fire spinning. It's just complements each other very very well, and it's something that we can do as a family. We just absolutely love it. It's just so fun.
So,
About go ahead.
no, go ahead. You're going to start a story. Go ahead.
Cool. Yeah. So I started on my internet career. It hasn't gone super super far yet, but I started making videos on YouTube and TikTok. Maybe 4 years ago, starting on YouTube. I haven't taken off on YouTube, but I started to get traction a little bit on TikTok. I got 130,000 followers on TikTok, and it was a way that I can vent my artistic videos into and just kind of put my heart into that. And I started to get pretty good traction with that. Now I'm just working on the YouTube side of things. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at here. I got a new little TikTok idea I'm going to be working on tonight. It's essentially with lasers. Like it's a laser prop I'm going to use with smoke machines, and it's going to have an awesome Halloween look to it. It's going to be a blast.
Cool. Well, I want to go back a little bit
Yeah.
in your story to that beginning of the fire thing. What was it originally fire that attracted you? What was the, because there has to be a love or a passion for it to be at the professional level that you are. So what was the original attraction?
Yeah, I would say the fire specifically didn't really entice me. It was more the performance art, like the actual prop spinning, like spinning the prop and doing tricks. The fire thing, that was just kind of like an extra. That's just, it looks cooler when it's on fire. That's just that as far as that goes, because I'm a pyromaniac. I do think the more fire, the more it looks cool. But that is from a standpoint of the viewer. The viewer is going to have more fun if there's more fire. So that's kind of how I think.
Gotcha. So when you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you have an idea? I'm sure it wasn't this, but did you have a plan or something you wanted to do?
No, this is pretty much a something that just kind of started kicking in here about in the past 8 years. But when I was a kid, I thought I was going to be a sponsored skateboarder. So that definitely didn't happen.
That's pretty interesting. So are there entertainers in your family?
Oh yeah, a lot of music entertainers. Definitely a lot of music entertainers. Nothing like this. Nothing on the like event entertainment, like you know, uh, anything like dialogue or nothing like acting, modeling, um, fire spinning, event entertainment. Aside from music, nothing like that. I'm kind of like the first of my kind in my family with this.
So for everybody watching, I want to remind you, this is Put Together Conversations. My guest today is, I didn't even ask you at the beginning of the, because I usually ask this in the pre-production. Could you pronounce your last name for me so I don't mess it up?
Absolutely. Funderud. So it's usually pronounced with a little bit of Norwegian twang to it, but just for the sake of everybody here being able to actually pronounce it, you can just pronounce it Funderud.
Funderud, awesome. So, but I like Fire Viking, so we're gonna go with Fire Viking. For
All
everybody
right.
watching, this is Put It Together Conversations. My guest today is the amazing Mr. Fire Viking, and we're talking about fire performing and skateboarding. And so that people get an idea of what you do, I'm gonna go ahead and show the video that we have for you. This is from his Instagram page, so we will show the Instagram link in a minute so that you guys can go check him out. But I want you to see the video. The music has been removed for technical purposes, but here he is. That is such a cool video. I was okay for everybody watching. Yes, I totally stalked all of his social media to find the video.
You found my TikTok, right?
Yes, so I'm already following you on TikTok. I follow you on Instagram and YouTube. I'm everywhere, dude. I call it research in public, but it's all stalking. Now, is that Brittany at the end that pops in?
Yes, that is Brittany that pops into that video. I think that was a Cardi B video. Yeah, so she knows which one you're talking about. Yeah, that's Brittany that pops in.
So let's talk technical. Let's be technical. To get to the level of performer that you are, how many years have you invested? How many hours? For somebody out there that's watching that wants to get into something like this kind of performance, what are they looking? What do they have to forward to look for? What do they have to look for? There they go. That's a question.
Yeah. So the amount of time I've been performing, like I said, it's been 8 years consistently. Um, and if you really want to get to the level where I'm at, it's more of a kind of like a fire in your soul. You just gotta, go for it with everything you really have, and it's got to be something that you really have a passion for, and you run for it with everything. But you're definitely talking, practicing all weekend and working hard to doing promotional stuff like calling a bunch of different event planners, going into a bunch of different businesses, making a bunch of different videos, editing videos, planning shows, building costumes. Like I have I have a show tonight. I'll just show you real quick the costume that I'll be wearing. So, of course, Halloween. I definitely have a good costume going on. So, it's kind of hard to figure it out, but this thing is essentially kind of like a post-apocalyptic armor type of deal.
Nice.
And then it'll be with a Halloween mask. So I made that costume myself, just to put it in perspective for you. It took 2 weeks to make that, maybe an hour a day for 2 weeks to make that costume. So it's pretty time consuming.
So we have a question on the board for you. I have to ask, when you are performing, what is the liquid you hold in your mouth when you blow fire?
Cool. Well, let me show you. Better than telling you, I'll just show you.
This is the first time we have a walking interview. So you are the first one to do this before us. So this is cool.
All right. So that can isn't very legible. I'll give you this one. Cool. So it's a white gasoline. It's essentially purified gasoline. It doesn't have much of a smell. It's just a lot safer to work with than actual gasoline. Now for fire breathing, this is definitely something I want to clarify, because please no one use that for fire breathing. That would be very, very bad. For fire breathing, the only thing you should be using is clear lamp oil, ultra pure clear lamp oil. It doesn't have a smell or taste, and it's a lot safer than anything else that you're gonna find. So just for everybody watching, please, no one fire breathe. Don't try it unless you've been trained, but definitely don't try it unless you're using ultra pure clear lamp oil.
Gotcha. So we have another question on the board for you.
Yeah.
Have you had any serious injuries?
You know what? I've had lots of little injuries, no serious injuries from fire performing, no serious burns or anything. I've had, a lot of pretty bad burns, but nothing that, completely just skin graft me, nothing like that. Yeah, just a lot of minor injuries.
Cool. And the other question is, how do you deal with our natural built-in fear of fire? Well, that's interesting. That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. So it's just something that you have to push through, because your instinct is always going to tell you to, to obviously to be careful, but your instinct is always going to have you to put up a guard that sometimes you have to shut down. So the fear will be there. That'll kind of get better and better as you're performing with fire, practicing with fire, performing in public with fire. But what really is going to help you is having your own fire safety individual right beside you. Anytime you're fire performing, you have to have a designated fire safety. Now, that person's going to be in charge of making sure that you're safe, making sure that you're not on fire, making sure no one else catches on fire, nothing else it catches on fire, so that you can focus on performing, they can focus on safety.
Gotcha. So were you a daredevil kind of kid when you were growing up?
No, 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 not even that much of a pyro. I was I've done a few like silly pyro stuff as a kid, but never like a daredevil. Not really.
Because I always imagine like folks that do things at the level of danger that you do, that there was this like double dare kid that just like jumped over things and did things. But were you it seems you were pretty
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say quiet. You know, I'm comparing myself to friends that would be doing some, you know, pretty insane stuff. I was never the guy doing the incredible, you know, crazy skateboard tricks or anything like that. I think the whole fire thing, like I said, it just kind of came in secondhand to the art of just performing and spinning and learning throwing sticks essentially. The fire was just, you know, came in secondary to that. If that
Gotcha.
makes any sense.
So yeah, totally. I would imagine also that there has to be some alignment, mental, body, and spirit. Like there has to be some preparation. I mean, you're talking about the physical stuff of training and the amount of work, and now you talked about the mental part of putting fear aside. But is there a spiritual component that comes to this? Like meditation? Do you listen to something before you go on? Like, what is your preparation?
Right. So I think there's a lot of people out there that take fire performing, it can take it in kind of a negative spiritual light. You know, you find a lot of performers that take a weird goth spin to it, and kind of like and do it in a kind of a gloomy way. My fire performing, I like to think it breaks away from the norm. It's completely in its own category. I rarely like to be categorized with other fire performers just for that reason, because a vast majority of them perform in such a weird gleam light, you know, like even that video that I was performing in that we have just watched, it had like a kind of like a skull mask. That's not my typical fire performing. Now when I perform, so I'm Christian. Anytime that I perform, I always like to glorify my God and point it back to Him. So anytime I'm about to perform, I'll always pray. Um, Now, as far as meditation, I wouldn't say that the fire performing is any type of like a meditation. I do find that when I practice for long periods of time, I do find kind of like a sense of peace and balance performing. But for the most part, I pray before I do any big show. I pray for safety for me, my wife, or my fiance rather, and then all the guests. So I always do that just to make sure everybody's safe.
That's pretty cool, and that's kind of where I didn't want to assume anything, but for instance, I do stand up and I pray before I go on stage, or I do a little meditation before these shows. Like I want to make sure that everything runs as smooth as possible. And
Yeah,
but I've always found that no matter what kind of entertainment we do or performance we do, there is a balance of body, mind, and spirit, or soul, however you want to define it, so that you can do the best you can and you feel more aligned and
yeah,
protected. Does that make sense?
absolutely.
Now we do, for everybody out there, I do want to specify, I picked that video because it was really cool, but he does so much more than just fire. So I want, when you go and check out, I'm going to put his Instagram link in just a minute, but when you go and check him out, he does so much more than just fire. So, but I was just, I'm a nerd and I'm a geek about it. I was like, this is so cool. I want to show this video. But we do have another
I'm glad you
question,
like
and
that
it's
one.
yeah, and then I like the fact that I didn't know who it was in the video, but I like when when Brittany jumps in. She, for those of you who have to go watch the movie, you have to watch it with the music so it makes sense. But because some of
it
the
was Cardi B
streams that were
up.
on,
Just for everybody
yeah,
to know, it was Cardi B up. I'm pretty sure,
yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah, and because a couple of the websites will mute the music anyway, we just decided to mute it ahead of time for you guys. But as I said,
Good.
I'm so excited to be able to ask, how do you eat fire, and how do you not burn your mouth?
Okay, another good question. So, fire eating is definitely a skill I have in my pocket, but not something that I have personally mastered. Now, I can do a few fire eating tricks where you essentially what you do is you have instead of having a big ball of fire, you make a itty bitty small ball of fire, small enough that you can actually fit it inside your mouth and you suffocate it. So what happens is you put this flame inside your mouth and you're not actually putting your lips on the fire, or you're not putting your lips on the actual metal part of the prop, but you're actually just stopping the oxygen from getting to the flame and it suffocates. So you're enclosing your mouth, it suffocates the fumes, it goes out, and that's kind of how that works. It's definitely you. This is something man. When you're learning this, you burn the crap out of yourself. That is not something that you don't really get away without burns with that one. It burns the crap out of your mouth.
For everybody watching, this is Putting Together Conversations. My guest today is the Fire King. We are talking about fire breathing, injuries, and letting go of fear. And I'm going to show the video again because it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
for everybody who's just joining us, this is the video, one of the videos that got my attention. Hold on.
She said, "I know that's right."
And again, for everybody watching, there are so many more videos. I'm going to put the link right now so people are like, what? Where is he? Where can I find him? Hold on, folks. I'm sure you can find him. So this is the Instagram page where you can go find his videos. And then he's also on TikTok. And I found just a couple of things on YouTube, but I know it's there. So go check him out. But this is it. Can we talk a little bit more about your religious side, your spirituality, your connection? How does that
Yeah.
connect? How does that work? Because I've had guests here who are singers and authors and artists, and we all have some connection to a higher power.
Yeah.
How does that work in your performances?
Yeah. So, like I said, I'll always pray before shows. Now, on the spiritual side of myself, that's definitely something that, I mean, I'll admit, um, 3 years ago, I would put all my time into the spiritual side of myself, and I would go out helping people and witnessing to people on the streets, and going to pick people up for church, and start my own Bible studies. And man, I was really on fire. But here this past about 3 years, um, I haven't been doing as much work. I still pray numerous times a day. Now, where that comes in play to my performing, I always like my performing to be a testament to, who I glorify. And so anytime, I'm performing, I always point it back to Jesus Christ, because that's who I pray to. That's who I pray through. So I always like for my performance to be a light for him. Any kind of and just when I'm performing, I'd like to do an amazing job. And so it not only amazes people, but it has just inspired people, and it's my own testimony straight through through my performance of how far I have come and how far my God has taken me. Because if anybody watching one of my performances knew how far I had to travel to get there, it would be a big shocker. So, I mean, if you want to hear that story of where how far I had to travel from, which is I came from a really low. You would never think I would have done the things that I've done, but yeah. So I'll just kind of give you a quick run through. About 8 years ago, I was big into partying. I put all of that aside. But I had a big kick in the butt when I was in jail, and I had a total spiritual wake up call when I was in jail. Just totally sick, just sick as a dog in jail, and throwing up, not sleeping every night. Um, I couldn't eat for about a straight 3 or 4 days, or excuse me. Um, it was 2 weeks straight that I wouldn't hold down food, not sleeping every night, just a brutal, total hell. And that is when I switched over and decided to put that life behind me. I quit smoking. I quit doing drugs. I quit drinking, and as I just started working out. And man, did I start working out! I started working out with so much of my time, and so all everything that I have now, it's just been building and building and building and building a testimony for myself to who I am now, how far I've come, and like I said, what God has done for me. Because I stand here today, a decently healthy looking guy, but I could show a before picture of what I used to look like. It was pretty pretty brutal.
Yeah, and I commend you for that. I've been clean and sober now over 14 years, and uh, I don't do the
Congratulations.
entertainment that you do. Thank you. But I would not have the career and the life that I have now had I not changed my life around and found a higher power to guide me through the process. Like just like you, if people could see the before pictures, I mean, we're freaking adorable now, but if they saw the pictures before, I was not there. Um, I have the muscles you have, but they're in the closet right now. I'm not wearing them.
They're in the closet. Okay. Yeah, that's funny.
But uh, also did a couple of, not a whole lot in jail, but I was in jail for a little bit. But um, what again, going back to the spiritual side, what light came over you to guide you in this new direction?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was such a powerful moment. It was I could take you right back to that moment. So in the midst of being at that terrible low of not sleeping, not eating, being locked up, having all my freedom stripped from you. If anybody's been to jail or prison, they know what that feeling is, to have your freedom stripped from you. And it's completely demoralizing. And um, and I lost my fiance at the time. I lost my home. I lost all my possessions. So I was at this point in life where I had literally lost every possible thing I could have possibly had, from all my possessions to my relationships to my freedom to my health. Everything taken from me. So it was only at that time that I had everything removed from me, that God could see the light, or excuse me, so that I could have all the clouds taken away, all the worldly things that were just totally clouding my mind, and just holding me down to earthly things. It wasn't until all those things were removed from me that God could actually work in my life and start building me up. So in order to build, I had to tear down the house. I had to do the demo, and remove all those things. And so all that terrible experience that I had was just a simple clearing of the ground to actually build a fresh new sturdy building. So in that moment, I'll kind of take you back to there. So it was building over about a week. I could feel this urge telling me that it's going to be better when you get through this onto the other side. There's something good coming. And then it was kind of all at one moment, and it was when my mother had actually visited me in jail, and I was sitting with her, and I had this news to tell her that I feel that God is saying that I'm gonna get through it, and it's gonna be better on the other side. And I could hardly compose the words when I was there on the phone with her, or it was a visitation, but you had to speak through the phone.
Right.
And I was sitting there with her, and I could hardly make words. I was like crying, so much emotion, so many feelings going through me. But the only words I could make out is, "I think this is gonna be good for me." And man, we just knew, you know, we knew that that was an answer to prayers. And she had been praying so hard, because she was at a point where she could have saved me from all that. She could have just simply bonded me out of jail. But God had told her not to do that. God had told her to refrain from bonding me out, because if I would have bonded out that week, if she would have got me out, I would have ran out of the car as soon as she bonded me out, and I would have went right back to the hellhole I was in, and I would not be here today if she would have bonded me out. But God had talked to her and told her what to do, to let me sit there and go through that pain, and she decided to do that. And I'm telling you, when we both knew that that was accepted, that and that was the plan, man, it was such a powerful moment. And I knew from then I was always gonna build.
That's pretty awesome. We have another question for you on the
Yeah.
board. Would you say you hit rock bottom and then develop your own version of a higher power that works for you and your current religion and spirituality?
So I grew up Christian in a Christian home, and I always had a decent relationship spiritually, and it it had been about somewhere between like 5 to 10 years where I had just gone way off the rails and really been um, doing drugs and partying, and totally turned my back onto God. And I had forgot normal. Um, I had totally just forgotten about what it was like to be at peace with God. And so after all those things were removed, I could see that clarity again and have that relationship again. So I had always had that spiritual relationship with God, and I had always been a Christian. But as soon as all those freedoms were taken away from me, God was able to speak back into my life, and I could have a closer relationship again.
That totally makes sense. I was raised Catholic, and somewhere in my 20s, I just started veering off. And same thing, drugs, alcohol, partying, did my own thing. And then when I was 36, I got clean and sober and made my way back to God. And the funny thing is that, in the prayers, I was like, where were you? And God's like, dude, I was right here. Where were you? Like, you were out partying.
Yeah.
But it's really cool that to have that for everybody watching and listening. If you were raised in a religion and you're somewhere out there lost, God will always be there. And if you are not fearing but welcoming what He has for you, it is so different. It just changes the way you think. And so I appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely.
Um, We have another performing question for you.
All right.
We move on to the next segment. It says, when you perform for private groups and parties, how do you manage the safety side of your work? It seems it would be tough when people are drinking, having fun before your performance.
Yeah, that's a good question. So man, I just love performing for parties. Now, I only drink on rare occasion. I'll sometimes have a drink after my performance on very rare occasion. But a lot of times there is a lot of drunk people. And that's just one of those things where your fire safety has to be in good communication with you. And their responsibility is not only to make sure you're not on a fire, but to make sure they're not getting too close. So their job is to make sure everybody stays back as well. So they keep all the drunk people back, and so that I can perform in a good light. But I honestly, you know, I like performing for parties like that because they're usually a lot of fun. Only rarely will a drunk person just be belligerent, but for the most part, big fun parties like that is what I specialize in.
Sweet. Now, we talked already about your pre-performance rituals. Do you have a post-performance ritual?
Um, just to take a shower and just smash a bunch of food. I like to get all that fuel off of me and get some a good meal in, and because when you're performing out there and you're burning so many calories, not to mention how hot it is with the fire, but you're performing for X amount of minutes or hours continuously with the fire and fumes, and you're sweating and not drinking enough water most of the time. Um, so you're just burning through all these calories and all this water. So by the end of the performance, man, my muscles are just deeply in need of calories and nutrients. So I hit some sort of restaurant right afterwards every time.
So just for curiosity, what's your favorite meal?
Oh man, so I'm gonna have to say my favorite meal is whatever my fiance is cooking that night. She's just such a good cook. I'm gonna I'm gonna have to tell her I was bragging on her cooking because she loves that. But she
Nice.
makes some amazing food, and it seems that every time she cooks something new. So I'm just gonna say my favorite food is whatever Brittany is cooking tonight. That's my favorite food.
You are so domesticated already for the marriage. You're ready to get married. That is such a good husband answer.
Yeah, I mean, dude, me and her get along so well. It's ridiculous. I would be hard pressed to find somebody that has a better a relationship than me and her because we're best buddies. We're soulmates. We're just totally in it on the same page, same interests. It doesn't clash us having the same interests and the same taste. It doesn't clash at all. We've been together for 3 years and we're still going strong in the puppy love phase.
Nice.
Like it's crazy.
Congratulations. That's really awesome. So we've
Yeah.
approached the time of the show where we ask our guests to share some words of wisdom. So, Philip,
Yeah,
what words of wisdom do you have for the audience?
absolutely. Um, so I'm gonna say that if if you're going and you're working day by day and you maybe if you don't enjoy your job, I just gotta tell you, man, you might be making enough money, you might not be making enough money, um, but this is gonna sound cliche to find what your passion, but forget finding your career. You find what you enjoy doing. Forget the rest. What you enjoy doing, that's God's gift to you. That's God saying, "This is my gift. This is my passion that I have given you. This is what your calling is." Take each and every each and every creative thought and creative interest is a gift from God to you, saying, here is this wonderful idea. Go pursue it. So anytime that you have an interest or a subject matter you enjoy studying, or you have a good idea come to you, if it's any kind of and creative thought from your imagination side of your brain, that's a true gift from God that you should pursue. You should glorify that and give it the attention it needs by putting your all into it. Even if if once a week you have some sort of revelation about a great new field to get into, run with it. See how far it goes. For an example, if I'm I'm a performer. If I'm one day I have this uh awesome idea to apply to a hotel line, and I said, wow, it would be amazing if I could perform for a cruise line and set up a contract with them where I get to perform on a weekly or daily basis for them, and they take care of all the expenses. That would be so fun. That's a gift from God saying, here, this is an idea that I'm giving you, and this is the door you've been looking for. This is the chance that you've been looking for. There's the he'll show you the door, but you know the saying, you've got to be the one to walk through it. So take each and every creative thought and treat it as a gift from God, because man, that is the door that you've probably been looking for.
That's pretty awesome. So other than your Halloween tonight, what's next for you?
Cool. Yeah. So I got the Halloween gig tonight. I'll tell you. So I'm kind of cramming all my stuff into one day today. Um, I had to finish a sponsorship video for TikTok. I was sponsored to do this to sell
Nice.
these boats. So I had to make a cool new RC boat video. So I finished that. Now I'm doing the podcast. Tonight I got the show. And then while I'm doing the show, I'm paying Brittany to shoot a record for me, because I have this huge event this week, which is a great time for me to plug this little show I'm
Yeah.
doing. It's called a headliner show. It's not like a huge thing. It's kind of just my personal friends and family are paying for this. It's kind of like an online performance. So I'll actually be recording a 3-minute awesome video with my performance, with my creativity, with the costumes, the whole deal. And you can go check it out on the headliner show. I think it's like somewhere between 15 and $20. And there's a bunch of other performers on there. There I don't know all the other performers, but I think there's like an acrobat and other people that have their own performance. So tomorrow I'll be recording that video at a live show. So I'm putting together an awesome video at a live show. You get to check it out. I think if you go to my Facebook, if anybody goes to my Facebook, and I'll post it on Instagram too, for those of you who don't have my Facebook.
Well, in fact, we have it right here.
Okay,
I just
awesome.
found it. Yeah. So for everybody
Oh, wow.
watching, whatever line you're watching on, whatever channel you're watching on, go to that link. And here I have the promo right in front of me. This last headliner show of 2021 will feature the Fire Viking, aerialist Luke Dulac, vocalist Mark Eisen, singer musician Stephen James, I think it's acronyms, and an opening music mixed by DJ Mark Dennis. And if you go there, it is November 4th, 2021, from 7:30 to 9 p.m. You can go on to Eventbrite. The tickets are between $12 and $20. And if you go to the link that we just posted on the comment section, you can find it. Again, I know some of the channels are not letting it, but I will repost it later for those of you that want to watch it. But go check it out. It seems like a really good event. We'll be sure to check it out.
Nice. I appreciate that so much.
Dude, it is. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know for those of you that came in late in the show, we caught him in his car as a passenger. He was not driving. Pumpkin hunting for tonight.
Pumpkin hunting.
And so, is there an idea to make this a whole family thing, like to bring them more into your act, or just you?
So the headliner show is just featuring me, but the idea is to kind of get more of my thing into it. I'll be performing again on America's Got Talent at some point, and I'm gonna incorporate my whole family. It's gonna be awesome. We're all gonna be in costumes. We're all gonna come up with some sort of very fun, family-oriented performing arts style performance, and we're going straight to the top.
I'm so excited, and being here in Southern California, if you are back on America's Got Talent, I want to know when, so we can get tickets to go see you perform there. And
absolutely.
I know you're mostly in the East Coast. Any plans to come west?
No, not at the moment. We're our feet are planted here. We are moving, but because of family, the farthest we're gonna move is probably between 200 miles. So we'll probably continue to be on the East Coast. But home is where your feet are.
Well, if you are ever in this area again, be sure to reach out. We'll have to take you out for some tacos and
absolutely
get you in person.
Oh, that would be great.
Tacos on us. We have about 5 minutes. Anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to share?
Yeah. So if y'all want, I'll show you my props. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. I'll just show you all the props. Yeah. So I'll take all my props out here. So the first one I'm going to show you, this is called a dragon staff. That's what that looks like. So that one's probably one of the more dangerous props I have. It has 5 wicks on each end. It puts off a large amount of fire, so that one's pretty cool. This is my fire breathing torch. That one's for fire breathing. This one is probably my favorite to the collection. This was a birthday present here recently. This is a Thor Hammer.
You just posted a video about that.
Yeah,
did you just post a video with it? Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that it's got some weight to it, but it actually kind of helps to grip it when I throw it. So that one, oh my gosh, it puts off so much fire. I can't even fuel the whole thing, because if I fuel the whole thing, I can't even be anywhere between 5 feet near it. It'll just incinerate everything around it. So I have to be careful how I fuel that one. So this next one is my contact staff. This is probably the one that I'm best at. So it's just your regular, it's essentially just a stick. It's just a stick. All of them are just sticks, if I'm gonna be honest with you. But here I have some more sticks. So these are short sticks. They're 2 short sticks. And then, all right. So this one is it's a fire sword. So it's not just another stick. No, it's an actual sword stick.
Well, that one's in the video too, right?
Yeah, this one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The wick needs a little bit of love at the end. It actually just tore here recently, but this one's pretty cool. you can actually it's weighted just in a way where it's balanced so that you can actually do tricks and you can throw it you can bounce it like on your head. You see, I'm not touching it, but it's balanced. So you can do the contact style tricks with a contact sword. So that has a lot of fire on it. Let's see. I have two other double staffs. That's the short sticks that I showed you earlier, but this is just a different kind of
Gotcha.
they're called short staffs or double staffs. So those are a little bit bigger, a little bit more fire. You see, it has a bigger wick than those ones. So it's just depending on what type of tricks I'm doing with it. The last one I have here, it's a rope dart variation. So this is just a big, massive ball of fire, and you swing it
Wow.
around, and it just I made it so big that it's just like spinning this huge cannonball of fire. It's pretty epic. That's pretty much all of them. And then of course, I breathe fire, and I have my poi here as well. So that's this is essentially a single poi, and then you get two of these and you spin them
Right.
as well. So just mainly spinning, mainly between it's either a ball and a chain or just a stick, and that pretty much makes up all of my props. And there you go.
Wow. Okay, so I
Yeah.
thought you were cool before, but this just took you to another level of coolness. Let me just say that. Like, I'm so impressed. Uh, for those of you, let me before we say goodbye, just because I know some people have just joined the broadcast. Here's a little view. Go check them out on Instagram and TikTok. But here's just before we go, I want to show you the video again.
All right, I'll be done in 2 minutes if you want to wait.
Yes, we're almost done. There you go. Yes, the Thor Hammer is the video. You have to go check out the video. It's freaking amazing. Just the whole thing is amazing, sir. I thank you again so much for your time. I
Thank
really
you, man.
appreciate
I
you
had
being
a
here.
blast.
I know we had a lot of trying to get it together, but I'm so glad we finally got to talk. Good luck tonight. Good vibes going your way. All the best. And remember, if you're ever out in the West Coast, we've got a taco date to go hang out.
I will take you up on that taco if I ever go that way. I'm gonna make sure I get that taco from you.
Dude, when it comes to tacos, I keep my word about tacos. So let me tell you, for everybody watching, we've had the Fire Viking on the show today, sharing his story. If you missed the first part, go back and check it out. I know you got to go, so I'll let you go if you need to, and I'll be in touch later and touch base with you
All
again.
right, thank you so much. Hey, brother,
Thank
have
you,
a good
sir.
night.
Have a good one. Bye bye. So that, folks, has been the Fire King. So Phillip Funderud. Go check him out again. This is his Instagram. Make sure you check it out. Remember, this is Put It Together Conversations. I'm your host, Daniel Gigarza. This is a show about folks, about you, where you come from, where you are now, and what your journey has been like. If you want to share your story or you know somebody that would like to share the story, please send them over to us, refer them over, and we will make the connection and have them on the show. If you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, remember, you can share the show. Share it with your friends, retweet it, share it, and comment and like it, and that really helps us out. If you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor, scroll down, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and that'll let you know whenever there's a new show on the air. We still have our shows on the air, so we've taken a couple of breaks for a couple of personal reasons, but remember, we've got Christian and Daniel show on Wednesdays. On Fridays, it's the Cart Debo, and on Saturdays, Put It Together Conversations. There might be some production changes coming up soon, but we'll let you know. For now, I want to thank all of you for joining us. Thank you for being part of the show, and we'll see you next week.